Here on the radio, Wammo Breakfast. Time to stare at the stars, staring into space with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome Observatory joining us this morning. Morning to you, Dylan.
Good morning.
And how was your supermoon experience over the weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I went out and saw the moon. To be honest, it didn't really look to me much different to any other moon.
Well, it was pretty bright.
Yeah, it was pretty bright.
I guess the difference here in New Zealand is that we had really good weather over most of the country, right? So people could get a really good gander, and the moonlight at night was just a wash over the land. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. You don't seem at all fazed by this moon action.
I think it just sort of draws attention to the light from the full moon, which is it's usually pretty bright if it's a nice clear night.
You could read a book, I reckon.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you can. I remember not being able to sleep and doing gardening by the by the moonlight in the middle of the night once.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
getting a moon tan.
Yeah, getting a moon tan. Coincidentally, as I was doing that at my old house, someone tried to break into my car, and I managed to chase them off.
There you go. Crazy things happen on the full moon. There is something.
Oh well.
There is something about
that. If that's not evidence, then.
Looking at it though, it did remind me a little bit of the movie that recently came out, Melancholia. Had my little Melancholia experience staring at the moon. Was it getting closer? I'm not sure. Was it getting closer?
It's slightly bigger than last full moon.
Yeah. Let's move on from that though and talk about rogue planets that could do flybys and scoop up life. Talking about Melancholia.
Yeah. So a new hypothesis has come to light based on the 2006 discovery of two so-called rogue planets which are orbiting each other, sort of free floating through space and not orbiting a star as such. So this was quite an important discovery because it had always been thought, can planets exist independent from a star? Do they have to be a part of a solar system, or can they just be floating through space on their own? So the conclusion of the discovery was yes, they can. Now, because planets are orders of magnitude less bright than stars, so more difficult to discover. The fact that we've discovered some at the level of detection technology we have now indicate that there could actually be many of these rogue planets. So hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions, pick your number, space just gets bigger and bigger. But basically many times more than stars and solar systems. Space could be full of many of these rogue planets. And so someone's come up with a hypothesis which is an extension of the panspermia hypothesis, which has been posed before, where it's postulated that life could be seeded from solar system to solar system by objects like comets passing by a star, passing by a solar system, sort of swinging by, dipping through the solar system and picking up dust containing organic chemicals, organic compounds, which being the ingredients for life, and taking them off and eventually colliding with another solar system and therefore spreading these ingredients for life there. So so the theory that the hypothesis that's come out now is that could that actually happen with planets? So could actual planets go through and sort of dip into a solar system, so come through, say, the inner solar system, of come that close to, say, our star, pick up dust that's come off Earth, which contains molecules with organic compounds, organic chemicals, and carry it off and eventually become part of another solar system. Because whether it joins the solar system or not depends on its sort of relative velocity toward compared to which way the star is going. If it happened to sort of be going in the right direction at the right time, it might just enter into orbit. Or if it was going other direction or right angles, it would probably just pass right through.
Interesting. But you would think that that life couldn't exist on one of these rogue planets, though, could it? Because life needs that regular rhythm of circling around a star?
Not so much the regular rhythm, but definitely the warmth that a star provides. But I mean, it's picked up these chemicals from interplanetary space in the first place, so they're already existing in the cold of space, but it's sort of like latent life. It's sort of like the chemicals required to spark off life.
Okay.
So if it ever does enter into orbit around another star, and the temperature warms up to habitable, then that's perhaps when life could spark off, so to speak.
Interesting hypothesis. But as you say, they haven't discovered one of these rogue planets yet. It's just a theory.
Yeah, rogue planets themselves have been discovered, but there hasn't actually been one discovered dipping into a solar system.
Yeah.
But the data that it, based on the number that it suggests could exist in the universe, the mathematical models would make this likely to happen.
Okay. On to the next story. The first super Earth, a light from the first super Earth may have been discovered.
Yeah, so light from the first super Earth exoplanet. It's orbiting a star called 55 Cancri, where other planets have been discovered in the past. In fact, I think it was the first star to have planets discovered around it. Anyway, I could be wrong about that. So the Spitzer telescope has captured the infrared light from this planet for the first time. So when we discover exoplanets, we sort of detect them by the effect that they have on their star.
Yeah.
But first time the actual infrared light coming off the planet has been detected, but it's been done because planets are so dim compared to their stars, they're just reflecting the light. It's done it sort of vicariously by analysing the light from the star and then waiting till the planet dips behind the star and analysing the light from that minuscule dip in light that's come off. So, you get slightly the tiniest fraction,
Yeah.
Of light, less light from the star when the planet dips behind it because you don't have that extra light source.
Golly, sounds tenuous, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and interplanetary and these deep space discoveries they're incredibly tenuous. They're measuring things in 1/100,000th less light. So that's why the advances in exoplanet discovery are taking place, because we're getting better and better at detecting these minuscule changes.
Yeah.
So it's basically it's looking at the light from the star and looking at the difference to the light when the planet was out the side of it, and therefore detecting what the constituents of the the infrared light from the planet were.
So does it tell us the makeup of the atmosphere?
Yeah. Not at this stage. It's not quite that refined, but the fact that it has been able to tell what the light, some of the properties of the spectrum of the light from this planet, means that in the future, when the technology is refined a bit more, there's a strong possibility for detecting what's in an atmosphere around the planet in the future.
Astounding. Wow. It just seems like these kinds of discoveries are accelerating at the moment. We're just getting them every other week, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, with every new technology, I guess, like the Spitzer infrared telescope, this is kind of an accidental discovery of it. It was designed for something completely different, for looking at nebulas and things like that. But it was designed before exoplanets were discovered and conceived of. So
yeah,
it's sort of, this technology exists. So they say, hey, let's turn it and have a look at the infrared, look at the exoplanets and see what we discover. So it's one of these serendipitous technology crossovers that allows things to be discovered. A lot of the good discoveries in astronomy are accidental.
Yeah.
One of my favourite ones is when one of the Mars rovers, one of its wheels broke.
Yeah.
So it was dragging along its wheel, and that dug up a trench as it scraped it behind it, and so it dug further below the surface than they had before, and it found this white stuff which turned out to be salts likely created from liquid water.
Amazing.
Being a massive discovery.
Well, I don't think that's the story of human discovery, isn't it? A lot of it is happened by accident, whether it be here on planet Earth or out there in space.
I guess it is.
Yeah.
It's just the endeavour in the first place.
Yeah.
Taking the gamble and results one way or another are likely to come off it.
Mm. All right, go and discover your own planets over at the Auckland Stardome Observatory, and talk with Dylan on Twitter as well, twitter.com/Dylan Storey. Thanks very much, Dylan.
Thanks, Wammo.